Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory going to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to all you occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going down the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you, very few Akwaf that's out there, you sisters that's out there listening and learning. This is your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another lesson. Well, another news update, I should say. It was one video I wasn't able to download, and now I'm trying to think of what it was exactly. I'm sorry, give me 2 seconds so I can go ahead and explain that to you before I move on. All right, towards the end of the video though, it's going to be it's basically what you got going on in Alcatraz, man. They starting to set up incendiary chambers. All right, that's fucking crazy. You know, it's a lot of things that I didn't heard, but man, there's some crazy shit out here. Now I just want to see if I can find what I was looking for. Oh, that's what it was. So there's a video going around on TikTok and other social media platforms where you got the it says, and I'm going to read this. It says, there are innocent people being hurt badly and needlessly. They're talking about in Gaza. All right. It says the U.S. contractors spoke to AP about an open culture of violence against the Palestinians at Gaza sites, 8 Gaza aid sites. All right. So what's going on is you got the troops. All right. Not only are they killing them, but they're shooting them and saying, hey, you know, you hear this? Like I'll play it. I'll play the audio, but you can go look it up for yourself. All right, it says witnesses say U.S. contractors are shooting Palestinians at aid sites, and they're like, woohoo, you know what I'm saying? That a boy, and picking them off one by one, watching them go for food, and as they watch them go for food, they shoot them in the fucking head or whatever they shoot them. All right, this is true. Now, this was 13 hours ago. The TikTok page is AJ plus, so it's AJPLUS. All right, if you want to go look it up, but you might be able to find it just by scrolling on the internet. All right, so here go the audio of it. He said, whoa, whoa. He screaming and said, I think you hit one. Heard him, he said, hell yeah, boy. So we've been telling you, man, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, we've been telling y'all that this white man, this so-called white man, self-proclaimed white man, is the fucking devil. All right, he's Esau, Edom, the wicked in the Bible. All right, and Amalek, which is his grandson, which is the small hat. All right, the ones with the small hats, pale flesh, small hats, and big noses. All right, them motherfuckers that be spitting on people and shit like that. All right, the you wish people. All right, because they're not. They wish they was us, but they're not. All right, and they're the wicked. All right, Revelation 2:9. So I just gave you like you know, small little insight on that. So this is for fair use, and for educational purposes only. Again, for fair use, and for educational purposes only. If you want to go look that video up, again, it's on AJ Plus on TikTok, or just type in U.S. troops shooting Palestinians. I don't know. Just type it in on Google or something. Without further ado, let's get into this.
Well, not much of a surprise. I told you guys a couple days ago that I thought the start of the AI purge in big corporate was starting, and I think it has. Microsoft kicked it off today in style, Microsoft style, right? Announcing layoffs of over 9,000 people. Couple that with, I think, the 6,000 people they laid off in May. Plus, I'm sure they had some other minor layoffs in between. So they're probably closing in on 20,000 for the year. I wouldn't be surprised if they get to 25 or 30,000 layoffs by the time we get to the end of the year. The other thing I wouldn't be surprised is to see a number of these other bigger companies follow suit. It always takes one to start the process, and Microsoft did the honors this time. Fresh off their all-time high of a stock price, and it was down a little bit after announcing the layoffs, which is a change. Usually when big corporate announces layoffs, we see stock prices go up. So don't think it's going to slow down. And again, like I said, if we're at 20 plus thousand for Microsoft, could they double that by the end of the year? I guess it's possible. So, and at the end of the day, it's like I said, just don't get too comfortable in corporate, especially if you're a Gen Xer. That time is coming. Corporate is just going to get uglier and uglier. And as I mentioned in a post, again, not too long ago, your bigger challenge isn't just the layoffs, it's finding the next job, because we're going to see fewer and fewer jobs, entry level, definitely with the AI, but, Gen X, it's going to be hard. You're expensive, unless you want to do the job of 2 or 3 people for the price of one, then you may be able to stick around a while longer. Anyway, if you're still in corporate, good luck.
Yeah, nobody's going to try to be working one job to feel like you're working 2 or 3 jobs, man. This place is over with. Nobody's doing that, man. It's people right now, that's working 2 jobs, on this hamster wheel, and they're not getting nowhere in life. People aren't realizing that, you working here is you being a slave for you to barely even be able to pay your light bill. Because once you come to a time that you're like, well, if I pay my light bill, then I can't pay my car note. Or if I pay my car note, then I can't pay my internet. I can't pay my utility bill. Or if I pay my utility bill, then I can't get food for the week. Okay, if I get food for the week, hell, I can't feed my dogs. You got to split it up. Those are the type of times that we in, man. America is falling, bro. Like bro. There's like a fourth of the country that's unemployed right now. Like, and it's continually rising. People are just fed up with this place. All right. I'm going to the next video.
Iran has officially cut ties with the UN nuclear watchdog after US airstrikes on its facilities. Tehran officially suspended cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, accusing it of justifying the attacks. New laws only allow future inspections of its sites with approval from the Supreme National Security Council. America says the decision is unacceptable. Dangerous drug. We're talking about nitrous oxide. You probably know it as whippets. And this new report out of the New England Journal of Medicine talks about a case involving...
My bad, y'all. There was another video I wasn't able to save. You got these, I guess it's like East, like Africans, whatever, and they're smoking. Well, I'll just go to it, because I don't think I was able to save that. All right, so just give me 2 seconds. And I'm going to play the audio for you oh yeah, here we go. It says, doctors in Nigeria warn us against trending drugs. All right, drugs. So here we go. Hold on, let me disconnect.
Here are These young people here are getting high on colos. It's a mix of marijuana and chemicals that's becoming increasingly popular among youth in Lagos. We are filming secretly how it is sold on the streets. Right. How much is one bag? 1,000. That's only about 50 cents. Why is this different than marijuana? It's stronger. Yeah, stronger. Drug abuse in Nigeria ranks among the highest.
So they're lacing marijuana. Okay. So they're lacing the marijuana over there in Nigeria, making the marijuana stronger. All right, whatever type of things that they add into it, which aren't probably natural at all, or they're adding to the cannabis, man. You know, it's always something, man. And then I'm gonna get to this video. And then on top of that, it costs 1,000 Nigerian money, but that's 50 cents to us. So forget, like, one baggie probably get you, you know, I don't know how many grams it is or whatever the case may be, but it looked to be about 2-3 grams for like 50 cents, you know, and people is, you know, getting high off of that, man. That's causing all kinds of problems. People is off drugs, man, everything, man. It's fucked out here, man. You know, it's fucked. It's fucked. Anyway, let's continue on this video.
Dangerous drug. We're talking about nitrous oxide. You probably know it as whippets. And this new report out of the New England Journal of Medicine talks about a case involving a 23-year-old who used the drug and ended up with frostbite in his mouth and throat.
There's a couple of different dangers. One is the cold that happens because of it, and that cold can be down to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which can obviously cause a lot of frostbite. But on top of that, you can get some immediate risks. That nitrous oxide displaces your oxygen, can make you dizzy, headaches. You can see the list there. Ruptured lungs because it can expand in your lungs and cause some issues there, and cut off the oxygen to your brain because it replaces that oxygen. More importantly, if you use it habitually, you can get some long-term risks, including B12 deficiencies. B12 is used to help our nerves grow, and if we don't have that B12, we can get those neurological issues, and those can become permanent. And so, again, short-term, long-term, it's just one of those things. You want to make sure you use it appropriately, which means inside things like whipped cream that I have here, if you look at the last ingredient, nitrous oxide is on there. It's in my house. It's probably in your house. Use it appropriately.
Gen Z is facing the worst unemployment rate of anyone. Gen Z's unemployment rate is more than 50% higher than anyone else's, and it's the worst that it's been in a decade, except, of course, during the lockdown.
And I apologize for this this sodomite that's on the screen, or effeminate spirit that's on the screen, you know. But he got some info.
So when young people these days are looking for a job, they're having one of the hardest times in recent memory. Now, of course, some of you might say that it is normal for younger people to have a harder time finding jobs than older people. And this is true, but it's rarely been this hard. The gap between new graduate unemployment and unemployment for everyone else is the widest that it's been in many years. And even the Fed is saying that job market conditions have deteriorated noticeably for new grads. And things are so bad that they are extending to college grads who've been in the workforce for a couple of years. Translation: companies just do not want new grads or entry-level employees. So when people tell me that the economy is doing better than ever, I tell them, look at the young people, look at the new grads. They are experiencing a crisis. And to the current administration's policymakers for not focusing enough on improving conditions for young people and new grads, you've just made the D3 list of podcasts about dumb, desperate, and die.
383 embalmed human corpses have been found piled up inside a building believed to be a private crematorium near the Mexico-US border. Some of the bodies are up to 4 years old, and the crematorium's operators have been charged with improper disposal of human remains. It's thought the corpses came from local funeral homes, and families were allegedly given fake ashes.
Damn. They really fucking up the Northern Tribe, man.
They shot all
I believe that dude was a soccer player.
females. I'm not going over there because I don't want y'all to. I'm not showing them. Oh my God.
اطلع يا ابن صنوط. lalu. Nah, gitu. Jadi saya gabung. Terus ketemu lagi jatuh ya gabung. Jadi 4 orang 4 pelampung, cuma pelampung gini. 4 orang. Jadi sampai pagi tadi 4 orang cuma satu meninggal. Nah, jadinya satu meninggal. Yang 3 sehat.
This video is a video showing you what's going down with them Palestinians. This is them trying to get food, and while they're trying to get food, they're getting shot at. So here we go.
We have breaking news right now. ICE has detained a world-famous boxer, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., just days after his fight with Jake Paul in the United States of America. This is significant news. According to ESPN, he was detained for entering the United States illegally and will allegedly be deported to Mexico, where he faces organized crime charges, according to the Department of Homeland Security. He just finished fighting a match against Jake Paul in Anaheim, California, and this arrest comes days after that. Official says he has an active arrest warrant in Mexico for alleged involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms. He is a famous boxer, one of the most famous boxers in the entire world. He was here for a massive fight with Jake Paul. This was one that was watched by millions of people across the country, and well, now he has been detained by ICE and is going to be sent back to Mexico.
No going to the banks and borrowing from, in some cases, a fine banker, and in some cases, Shylocks and bad people. But they took away a lot of family. They destroyed a lot of families.
It's Thursday at noon. We're in Mayfair, and it is trash day. This is one of the city drop-off sites at Hawthorne and Princeton, and you can see this massive pile of trash that has grown here. All kinds of things in this trash. We've seen shopping carts filled with glass bottles. We've seen what look like strollers. Looks like there's a cabinet down there, but you can see through all this trash, it goes all the way down the sidewalk, and it sits just about 50 yards away from Mayfair Elementary. Again, it's around noontime. It's hot out here. We can bring you the sights. We can bring you the sounds. What we can't bring you is the smells, so you're going to have to take my word for this. But, yeah, it is not a pleasant-smelling scene out here in Mayfair with this.
900 earthquakes have hit this island chain in Japan in the last 2 weeks. The Takara Islands are remote and hardly populated, but experts say that since the 21st of June, seismic activity, so earthquakes and other ground vibrations, has been very active in the seas around them. There have been no reports of damage though, and no tsunami warning has been issued, but authorities have still warned the small number of residents to prepare to evacuate if needed. One resident said, "It's very scary to even fall asleep. It feels like it's always shaking." You can read more about the islands and why they're so prone to earthquakes by tapping the link below. And some people in Japan are worried that a massive deadly quake could soon hit, after a comic book by manga artist Ryo Tatsuki claimed that the next big earthquake would strike on the 5th of July this year.
Been warned for years about the health dangers of eating too much processed meat, and a new study warns there's strong evidence that says there's no safe amount. Researchers analyzed data from more than 60 previous studies. They found that people who ate the equivalent of one hot dog a day had an 11% greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
You can't eat hot dogs no more.
And a 7% increase in the risk of developing colorectal cancer than those who didn't eat any.
killing us.
I really do. I hate them. I cannot stand them. With all of the things we did with the tax cuts and rebuilding our military, not one Democrat voted for us. And I think we use it in the campaign that's coming up, the midterms, because we got to beat them. But all of the things that we've given, and they wouldn't vote only because they hate Trump. But I hate them too, you know that? So it's sort of, I really do, I hate them. I cannot stand them because I really believe they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
The U.S. is preparing to breed billions of flies and dump them out of planes over Mexico and southern Texas. Look up above. But no, this is not a weird sci-fi movie plot. It is real. This is all to fight a flesh-eating maggot that could devastate our beef industry, decimate wildlife, and yes, even kill pets. Government officials plan to sterilize adult male flies with radiation before releasing them. So when they mate with their female partner, the eggs will not be fertilized and they won't hatch. So
they're literally showing you a fly mating there.
Well, you know, it's morning television.
Exactly.
It's great. But it does mean fewer larvae over time. Scientists hope that the infected fly population will eventually die out. The U.S. is preparing to breed billions.
Breaking news, House Republicans have passed the budget bill. Here's what this means and here's what's in the bill. Moments ago, the budget bill passed, which means that $930 billion in Medicaid cuts will be made. Hundreds of billions of dollars in SNAP benefits will be cut. Many Affordable Care Act subsidies will end or expire. ICE will soon become the nation's largest law enforcement agency, with more employees than the Bureau of Prisons. There will be increased funding for the Department of Defense. Tax cuts for the top 1%. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the top 1% will benefit the most. The bottom 10% will benefit the least. It's over. The bill is heading to the president's desk. This is not going back to the Senate. They passed this bill. Donald Trump will sign it potentially as soon as today, but likely over the next day or so before the 4th of July weekend. Some of these cuts will take effect immediately. Others won't take effect until after the November 2026 midterm elections. The deficit will be raised. The debt will be raised by trillions of dollars as well. This is real, and it just happened. So I wanted to let you know, follow along for more.
And NASA astronaut Nicole Ayers posted a spectacular image from the space station of what's known as a sprite. That's a brief blast of electricity that occurs high above thunderstorms in the upper atmosphere. Ayers explains that photos like this help scientists better understand this rare phenomenon because ground-based observers rarely catch sprites. The ISS offers an unobstructed view above the storm systems.
Alaçatı port evlerinin hemen karşı yakası. İşte yanıyor güzelim Alaçatı, güzelim memleketimiz yanıyor. Çaresizce bakıyoruz. 48 saattir bu yangın burada, bu bölgede devam ediyor. Tabii ki sağ olsunlar.
Well, breaking fuck the news. 94 Palestinians were slaughtered last night. While we all slept in our beds, while we all worried about what we were going to do tomorrow and how we were going to pay this bill, 94 Palestinians were slaughtered last night. 45 of that number who were waiting on humanitarian aid at a makeshift hospital. 45 people waiting for help because they're starving.
25 were shot in the head and chest respectively and were pronounced dead at Stroger Hospital. 2 women whose ages we don't know were shot in the chest and were pronounced dead at Northwestern Hospital. I have a YouTube show that covers these types of shootings in depth. If you're interested, go to the
Hey everybody, so we've got airports shutting down, pilots reporting mysterious glowing objects and radar signals vanishing into thin air. This is all happening in Turkey. They've been experiencing some bizarre UAP encounters lately. So check this out. Flights at Sabiha Gökçen Airport, sorry if I butchered that, in Istanbul were disrupted due to pilots reporting unidentified objects on their radar systems. These anomalies even triggered collision avoidance warnings, prompting extensive but inconclusive searches by authorities. Also, in a separate incident, a pilot near Gaziantep Airport, again, sorry if I butchered it, spotted a bright glowing object in the sky that wasn't visible on the radar. This sighting led to a temporary shutdown of the whole airport and a massive search operation, but the object vanished without a trace. So, while some are speculating these events obviously could be due to drone activity or atmospheric phenomena, no definitive explanations have been provided as of yet, and authorities continue to investigate to ensure aviation safety. Stay tuned for any updates. If I get some, I'll let you know.
Just in case you don't know what's going on, a girl on TikTok came on here and said that one of her neighbors
Look at this. This is incendiary chambers.
received a government contract asking them to install a bunch of incinerators at Alligator Alcatraz. They're installing incinerators at Alligator Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz is on indigenous land. It's like protected land. Two, there are migrants. There's people being washed ashore with shackles on. People are finding people on beaches wearing shackles. This is the level that we're at. There's another girl on TikTok who is tracking flights, government flights, or like leaving detention centers, and they are just going out into the ocean and then turning around. Just going out and turning around. The flights are not making it to their destinations. 2 + 2 does not equal 4. You understand what's going on right now. There's another guy on TikTok who said that he got pulled over by the cops. He's an American citizen. He just happened to have a Spanish last name. And they went and they looked through his information. They were like, we can't find you in any system. He's like, what? He had like several IDs because he lived in a couple of different states. He was like, well, I have this ID. I have that motorcycle ID. I have this. And then the cops were like, oh, you can thank your friends at ISIS. So they're taking people, American citizens. He's white, by the way. He just had a Spanish last name. They're taking people who have American nationals who have Spanish last names, removing them from databases so that when they get pulled over by cops and people like that, they go, oh, you're not in the system. You're an illegal immigrant. You're an illegal alien. So they can detain them. Do you understand what's going on right now?